Hey guys, quick message. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You learned a lot about programming and I'm very proud of you and I'm very thankful that you hung with me. If you've been doing this while I've been doing these live, you'll have noticed I took a long time between my last one to this one and I apologize for that. I had a death in the family. My mom actually passed away from COVID. It took about 1 week for her to get sick to pass away. She had some pre-existing conditions, so she was the one at risk. While that was hard and it's been a little crazy and I haven't been able to do a video lately, I apologize for that, but I just wanted to tell you, hug your loved ones. That's all I wanted to say. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe my mom's in heaven. So personally for me, I'm fine, but man, life is short. You never know what's going to happen. Hug your loved ones. And just give them a kiss and tell them you love them because this life is crazy. You never know what's going on. But now let's get started. Back to the program. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 9. We're going to jazz things up a little bit, have a little fun today. We're going to not spend too much time talking about fluff or boring things. Let's just get right into it. So I decided that we want to make some sounds. Let's just get all fluffy real quick. Right here in the main, when we make a title, we're going to make some sounds, right? So there is a sound player that C# has. It's called Sound Player, and it can play sounds. How fun is that? Let's do that. So I created a little tiny intro. Well, I found a dungeony type ambient sound, and I took a little sample of it, kind of faded it in, faded it out. It's about 4 seconds long, and so that's what we'll use as our intro. And then I went just poking around, figuring out, because I haven't used the sound player. I don't do that in a normal time, so I'm not going to pretend that I do, or I did. But it's called Sound Player. And because we're opening the file, we want to use the using. Remember that when you want to make sure you don't leave something open and mess up or use a thread that's being left open and use memory, you can use the using, which makes sure that once it's done, it closes it and it's finished. So we're going to do that with the sound player. So we're going to call it sound. We're going to call it Sound Player. Don't be a player. Sound Player, and here is just kind of like what we did before with directories. We're going to call out the file, so we're going to say app domain, as we've done before, current domain, because we're just going to stick it in our bin file. And I made a folder called sounds. You can do whatever you'd like, but I called it sounds, and it's called short intro. I'll share it with you. And Sound Player plays WAV files. We're not going to try to be the fanciest thing on earth. Boink, boink. You can see, what did I do? I didn't mean to stop that. All right, there's that. And just so you know, I downloaded this intro, then I made it short, so it's only 605 kilobytes. It's in our debug sounds folder that I made. Okay, and you can see that it can't find it. If you try the light bulb, it still can't find it because we need to install System Windows extension. So we go to our project. Oops, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say Manage NuGet Packages. We'll take it to our NuGet Package Manager. You go to Browse and do System Window Extensions. You'll see it right there, System Windows Extensions. Let's install that. Gives you a couple things. All right, and now we can go back here, and our light bulb should say, do you want us to put it, is it in a media thing? All right, and I'm frozen. All right, light bulb, using system media, beautiful, boom, there we go, now we're working. All right, let's run this bad boy. Creepy. That's only 4 seconds long. It'd be nice to, now you can make it like not show we can make the menu not show up until after the sound, but I don't really want to do that. We could actually throw this make main menu inside the using, that way we could pass the player onto it. I don't want to do, and then we could stop it. So if we could do it this way. There's probably some ramifications I'm not thinking of. We could throw player, we could pass player to the menu, right? And then down here we need to change this to say we were looking for a sound player called player. And then in our options, once we've read the line, like here before we start, if someone hits S and hits enter, we can just say player.stop. But then we're inside that using statement. So I need to think this over, but let's just see if this works. So boom, it's playing. I hit S and it ends. Good. That's what I wanted. So there's that option. You could do a play async, or no, play sync, which means play synchronously, so that nothing would happen until the sound was done. There's play sync. I'm going to leave this for now. I'll probably investigate. There's probably some unforeseen ramifications by being in this sound player. I might be actually keeping the thread open longer than I want, or keeping the file open longer than I want. But let's do it for now. So there we go. We've already got, we're already playing an intro sound, and it stops when you start the game. I think I took that debugging statement off, so we should be able to see this in action. So let's get ready to hit S, boom, and I didn't hit, but whatever, the game stops. All right, so perfect. Let's move on. We're back to the where are we at? We left off where, oh, that's a lot of debug statements. Can I get rid of those, please? There's a way to get rid of all of them at once if you want. All right, so back to our problem from last time. We are checking for traps, and we're in an endless loop. Let's figure out what we're doing wrong. So we're gonna hit F5. We're gonna run this game. We're gonna start the game. Here's our awesome intro sound. We're gonna look for traps. All right, we found a trap. Got a 16. All right. Make sure we're not getting high numbers all the time. That seems kind of high. Last time we did that. So we hit, we write the line. And now we're going to try to disarm the trap. Shoo, you disarmed the trap because that was a 19. Man, a couple high rolls. Boom. And we hit return. Check for traps. And now we're breaking out. Okay, so exit room equals false. Here's our problem. So we're breaking out of this, but we said while exit room equals false. All right, so our problem is we need to move the room option messages out of this so that when we get done, unless we've set exit room to false, we're gonna just continue to be in a loop. So we need to represent the options to the users. So let's make a menu called Write Room Options. I just took all that stuff out. Actually, let's right click and extract method. I don't know why it's always so hard. I'm going to extract that to a method. We're going to call that Write Room Options. And yes, we need the room. So thank you for realizing that, Visual Studio. So probably put that down there as a private. That's fine. Write room options. And so now we're going to write the room options immediately, check for traps, and when we're done, we're going to write the room options again. Because checking for traps is never going to say that you've exited the room, right? Never. So we got to write it again. And it'll lead to something else. Let's add all the options. What options do we want? We got to have more options in this. We said look for traps. Let's open a chest. If there is a chest, we're going to open the chest, or we're going to check the trap for chests. We've got use an exit. Let's get this above the exits. Using an exit is like the last thing you probably want to do. So that's basically it. You're going to check. We'll do fight monsters eventually, but not right now. So we're looking for traps. We're opening the chest or checking the chest for traps if we find a chest. And so this is going to write the options. If the person tries to look for traps again, and we've already done it because we set the flag. And remember, and check for traps. We'll go here. You found a trap. Right here it said trapped or disarmed. So if the person tries to look again for traps, it's going to come up here. It's going to say, you've already done this, right? That's why when the loop was coming back in here, it kept telling us this. So let's test this. Now remember, sound. Remember with that sound, with traps, we could add a trap sound. We could use a sound player again and play a trap sound if a trap is set. Or if you disarm it, we could do like a lock noise, like an unlocking noise. I'm not going to do all that, but that's there. I'm giving you the tools to make this really cool. All right, so now we've got, there is no chest, so we don't get the options for chest. We can either look for traps or use an exit north or east. So we're going to look for traps. Let's hope we get out. That's funny. I say we need to put some breakpoints. Messed up again. Shut up. All right, so where are we at? Boink, boink. We haven't searched. We haven't tripped or disarmed. Ooh, we need to set search too. All right, so we know the numbers can be low, so we find no traps, but we did search for it. Good. We're going to return. We're going to write our room options. Huh. Let's look for trap again. No, I think we're stuck somewhere. Hold on. Okay, so what I was doing is I was writing the room options again, but then I was breaking, which would then go check the player decision. I wasn't re-getting the player decision, so it was always over and over again. So we got to do that again. We got to say player decision equals not message handler. We'll do console write. Oh no, yeah, because we want to do message. Yeah, we want message handler. Gotcha. That way we can test it. Boom. All right, let's go through this and see how it works. We do find a trap. We didn't disarm the trap and we took 4 damage. This is the next thing we need to do right here. Let's actually apply some damage, but let's get this done first. We disarmed the trap, write room options, and now it's going to wait to read this. So there we go. Now we should be able to do L again. There we go. Okay, we're good. And now it's going to say, hey, you've already done this, pal, and just return. So L again. Yeah. Right. And you see that we're getting that you've already found the disarm this trap or tripped it. Ouch. Okay, good. We're better now. So let's go here. If we trip a trap, kaboom. Clank. A sound of metal falls into place. You tripped a, and what was it on our engine? Room dot trap. Oh wait, I gotta do string interpolation, and we want to do room dot trap dot type. Trap type to string. So we need to roll the dice for the trap. So trap damage equals, and let's use our dice. Remember we have this awesome dice thing. So we're gonna say roll dice. And what kind of dice do we want to roll? We need to make a new list. We only want 1 dice. We need a new list of die. And remember, we can do it right in. We can make a variable of a new dice list right in line here. There it is, new dice list. And we want 1 dice, and the number, this has to be the D4, right? So we want trap dot damage. No, I need room dot trap dot damage die. There, that's an actual dice. I'm actually sending that in, and that's our trap damage. It is a random number between 1 and whatever, which we know is at 4. And then we need to get all red. So let's do message handler dot All right, yeah, we decided not to handle foreground and background colors in the message handler, so we'll just be all loud. Message handler dot write. You were damaged for and you were damaged for 4 hit points or whatever. Let's check our hit points first. So var, no, we don't have to do that. Yeah, I want to hold this. Let's say new HP hit points equals character, because we have the character in here. Dot hit points minus trap damage. You now have hit points. And here we'll say if hit points are less than 0 or less than 1. And you're dead. And from here, we'll handle all the dead things later on. If you're dead, you're not going to keep playing. But let's just see how this works. So I'm going to stop it here, and I'm always going to hit us. I can manipulate this roll, and I'm going to make us take damage. How many hit points does Conan even have? Well, I can change it. I can change it right here and make it be higher than his total. So let's check this out. Let's see if we die. First of all, let's let it run through. We'll do Conan. We'll look for a trap. Let's see what happened. You found the trap and are forced to try and disarm. Shoo, you disarmed the trap. What would you like to do? All right, perfect. So that was the happy path. Let me get rid of this stupid thing here. Let's do this again. Okay, did we disarm it? Ooh, a 20, a nat 20? Come on, seriously. So in here I can actually, when I'm in break point, I can come in here and I can actually click that and make that whatever I want. So we'll make it a 1. Sorry, Conan. Boom. Let's see if, just let it run and see what happens. Clank, a sound of metal falls into place. You tripped a poison trap. You were so there's that worked. You were damaged for only 1 hit point. You now have 3 hit points. Okay, good. So if we did get 4, we could die, but we're going to make ourselves die no matter what. So we're going to run it through again. Did we do it? We did again, dang it, but we don't want to. So we're going to come in here. We're going to say 8. 8 is less than 11, so it's going to come here. And now we're going to say trap damage. Let's stop and see. Oh, we got 2 that time, but we want actually 4, which should make it death. So let's let it run through. Oh, I must not have hit enter. Okay, I'm sorry. Mess that up. Do it again. Ugh. There's our error handling. We just checked that. Good job, guys. 0. Look. You find no traps. Dang it. We got up here and we didn't find a trap. So even though there is a trap in the room, we were going to get hit with it. Oh, well, we haven't moved yet. We haven't tried to move yet. So when we move, that's something I haven't explained. So we're looking for the trap. If we don't and we try to use an exit, then we're moving across the room. And if there is a trap and it hasn't been disarmed, you're going to get hit with it. So that was the part I hadn't explained. We're going to try to look for a trap. Now we're not finding traps. Where do we get that? You find no traps. Let's just make sure this is always good enough to find traps. Crazy stuff. All right, so we got it finally. When I stop it, disarm trap, we want that to be below. Now it's a 3. Trap damage is a 2. We want that to be a 4. make sure that's right. 4, 4. Our hit point should be 0, and we should see our dead message. You were damaged for 4 hit points. You now have 0. I'm going to say hit points there, and you're dead. And at that point, we would just be like end-o game. So we might have to make an endo game. You now have hit points. Hit points. All right, let's take a step back here real quick. We now have disseminated damage for trip traps. What do we have left to do? I have to get us out of this room on this lesson because I have a banana friend, Flower, from Discord, and she has demanded that I get her adventurer out of this room in this episode. So we have to exit rooms still. And so I'll try to do that this thing. We're already up to 20-some minutes. We have to open chests and get chest treasure. We have to check for chest traps and do traps for chests, whatever. Fight monsters, but we haven't even really declared monsters yet. We have to be able to create characters. This is for the whole entire game. We have to check map location, check for final objective. This is a rough idea of what we have left to do for the entire game, just to have it to version 1. And of course, I'd love to be able to put some sort of crypto coin, Banano, preferably, but whatever. Insert crypto. That's kind of a bonus, right? Because I think it would be totally awesome if we were able to make games and somehow randomly they got crypto coin, which I think we could make that work. So that's going to be the fun final thing. So this is what we'll have left to do. So let's go to, all we've done so far is check a trap and then disseminate damage. But we've done a lot of things that we can reuse, and I'll probably break out a bunch of the code that we've already used. Like the whole trap stuff we just did probably should be in its own method. Checking for whether you're alive or not should probably be in its own method. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so back to the game, start. All right, we can look for traps or we can use an exit. That's all this room is. You've made it. This room has exits on north and east wall. What would you like to do? We want to do in. Boom, something went wrong because we have not implemented. Did we get a no implementation? Okay, so before we get to exit room, let's see if they even picked the right thing, right? So we're gonna make a wall location equal north. We're just going to default a variable called wall location. We're going to make it equal north. We're going to compare what the user has chosen to see if it actually is even an exit that we described, right? So we've got to convert what they picked to the wall location. So let me think. Let's going to do this the easy way. So if player decision equals S. Wall location equals south. What I do there? Because we want to actually have it spelled out the way our engine spells it out. There's probably a much more eloquent way of doing this, but I'm just going fast. Else if player decision equals W, right? Oh, I just did caps equals W. What the? Now, you guys, I don't know if I've shown you this yet before, but you can do if else on a single line without brackets like this. This is your standard stock if else statement, but you can also do it on a single line where you don't use the curly brackets. You can just do it single line like this. So it's kind of a shorthand way of doing it. I don't normally like doing shorthand because it doesn't always make it easier to read. But whatever, it's there. You can use it. Have fun. Be sparing with too many shorthand ways. I like being more explicit. Even if it's longer, even if it takes more lines of code, it's easier to read. Trust me, if you're looking through a ton of code, blah, blah. So otherwise, wall location equals east. So there, we have all options. Now we need to make sure that they're even trying to get out of a wall. So what we can do is we can use one of our room exits. So room exits is a collection, right? It's a list. Remember how if you look down there, it's a list of exits. So we have link, which loops, which is kind of I don't know if I've explained this so many hours of tutorials. Link is kind of a thing that sits on top of collections and can look through collections. We haven't added link, L-I-N-Q yet, so this will probably not work. It'll break here in a second, but let me just show you how link is part of the framework, so it'll just show up. So we can say first or default. Oh no, there it is. What the? So we're going to try to find the very first instance of the exit, and we're going to send in the wall location. This is basically what I'm trying to do is say, did they pick a wall location that has an exit on it? If I don't find it, we're going to say no, try again. So that's all this is. And here we're using one of our anonymous functions or our Lambda functions. So it's kind of like writing a function where we say, hey, here's the function, and we're going to so X is the exits, right? X represents each one of the exits in the collection of exits. And so remember, there's a wall location. Let's go to it. I'll show you. This is basically saying what wall location exit are you? So this is a collection of compass directions. So we're going to say, as we're going through the exits, to string and to lower. To string is a method, and to lower to make sure we're comparing accurately equals wall location. So if we get something back and it's not equal to null, because first or default will give you the first thing it finds, or it'll send you it'll send you null if it can't find anything. So if it does not equal null, then we will go to exit room method. So there, now we've just checked to see if the user chose an actual exit that belongs to this room. Else, we're going to say, bruh, sis, do a little space and say, that's a wall, friend. Dot, 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 dot. Line break. Right? They're trying to put south when we didn't tell them there was an exit south, or they tried to put, west when we didn't tell them there was an exit west. All right. All right, so now our player is actually trying to move. So let's get rid of that not implemented function, or not implemented, exception, because we're going to start doing stuff. So first thing we got to check is if there is a trap in this room and if they actually disarmed it. So we're going to say if trap does not equal null and the room dot trap dot tripped or disarmed is equal to false. Right, so basically that says that the user is trying to, or the player is trying to move across the room. There is a trap, and they didn't disarm it or trip it, so they're going to do it right now. Let's go back to that, all that, this stuff, right? All this check for traps stuff. What I would like to do is to take all this out. This right here means that they did not disarm or whatever. Let's take this out because we're going to use this again. So I'm going to highlight it all, right click, and I say, what is it? Quick actions, extract method, and we're going to call it, what are we going to call it? Process trap. We'll say, call it process trap messages and damage. And see, it did it for us into a private method. So wonderful. Basically, if you trip a trap, this gets called. So ouch. So we're going to send in the room because we're going to need that. And we're going to send in the dice. disarm trap roll. I don't know if we need this dice here. Why are we doing this? Where are we checking this at? All right, so that's the dice collect. That's the dice instance that we created. Fine. No, I don't think we need that. We don't, because we use dice up here. It thinks we need it again. We don't need it. Let's get rid of dice, and we can make our own dice in here. I want to just, because we're going to use this in other places, and I don't want to. I don't know what kind of dice I want. I need a generic dice, and I'll just make it right here, right? New dice. All right, so this should all still work. All this stuff should work, and now I can use this in my exit room, because you tried to walk out. You should not have, and I'll send in the room that we just sit in here, and kerplow. Everything just should work the same. So let's double check all this to make sure this is all still working. I'm going to run through and I'm going to make sure this gets hit and it all looks the same if I do not disable. So to do that, or disarm, I'm going to make sure I hit that. Oh, I got to find traps first, because we may not find the trap, which actually that would work too, because we could still move across the room, but who cares? All right, you find no traps. That is fine, because there is a trap. So this is one of our things. We did not find any traps. You find no traps. So we're going to try to move across the room, and we'll do in, and we're going to process trap damage. Let's see if this works all the same. Clank. Trap damage. Let's just F5 and F5 and and then we put ourselves into an endless loop. What are we getting though? No, we take a damage once and then we proceed. So we need to actually proceed out of the room if we're not dead. So we'll check if not dead, keep going. And so we can actually move out of this. And all right, so let's try to remember what we got here. I know we thought of this ahead of time. So one of the cool things, I probably showed you this before, but I love this little option. I can right click and say open containing folder, because I want to open the JSON and I don't want to go through all the folder actions. So I can go here, boom, boom, bin, debug.net, adventures. And I want to open that. Actually, I don't want to do that, but I can do that if I wanted to. I'm going to open a file. I'm going to open the file from here. Bang, bang, bing in the bong. All right, let's look at our adventure JSON again. Oh yeah, very cool. Good for us. We made leads to room number. So there we go. So right now we know we're in this room, right? And we know we just did wall location 0 or 1, either one. We know what room it leads to. So that's wonderful. Yay us. And so, all right, here's another cool little tip. Control MO, you will use it a lot. When you've got 1,000 methods open in a class and it's getting kind of janky, we probably have too many methods for this class for the single responsibility principle, but we're just trying to get stuff done at this point. But you can do Control MO and it just collapses everything, makes it all nice and neat. So back to room processor. All we got to do, room processor gives us our message, right? Room description and room options. Room description, yeah. So let's get rid of that extra space. All right, so back to exit to room. We know we're now moving through the room. We took our trap damage and we've now moved through the room. So all we got to do is see where we're moving and send that room in. So we have the current room we're in. And we should be able to actually, we may not know what the player chose. We may have to send in the player's choice in here. I think we probably do. Let's go back up here. Room options. And here's the player. Yeah, this is a local variable to room options, so we wouldn't have this. So in here, we need to send in which wall they said to go to, right? So player decision, we're sending that into the method. Wait. This is stupid. This is a funny programmer life lesson or whatever example right here. I did a bunch of really stupid things, and this is why. We designed this early on with location, wall location to be a compass direction, right? And so I made this into a bunch of stupid strings, and then I had to convert the actual wall location compass direction to string to match this. And then I was going to send in a string to exit room and have to undo it from a string to a compass location. I'm probably confusing you with all this, but here's what's ridiculously dumb is I should have made it a compass direction in the first place. Wall location is a compass direction. You can see it right there. Why make it a string and then have to convert it? So this right here shouldn't have been north. This right here should have been compass direction dot north. Duh. And then here, I can easily just say, right, compass direction dot south. You follow. Right, and then now I don't have to do any of this garbage because it is what it is. It's an actual wall location. It's a compass direction, which is what wall location is. And so, see, oh yeah. And now instead of sending in the player decision, which is a letter, which wouldn't ever have converted anyway, or a string, and then have to convert, I'm just going to actually send in the freaking wall location, which is the actual thing we want. Perfect. And so down here, it's a compass direction, and we call it wall location. That's just what we've called it. It's the location on the wall that's a compass direction. And so now I can say, all right, done this. We can find the room. So we're going to use our link again, right? We've got our rooms. We're going to say var new room equals, and we're going to look at our exits, right? So we're going to look at the current room we have, dot exits, and now we have an exit collection. We're going to do first to default again, and so here we'll send in our rooms with our lambda function x dot, and we're going to say wall location. So we're going to grab the wall location that equals the wall location we just sent in, and that's going to give us, what's that going to give us? It's going to give us the exit. List of exits. What does the exit have? Exit has leads to room number. So an int leads to which room number. So once we have our exit, then we'll know what the room number is, right? So let's grab the right exit. So actually, we're going to grab the actual exit, and if it's null, we can test null and throw an exception. So we're still doing some error handling. So we're going to say the exit is this. And we're going to say if exit equals null, and we'll just say throw new exception. This room doesn't have that exception. Not the most descriptive thing. We'll probably want to fix that later on, but there's something. All right. So, okay. Now that we have our actual exit, we'll have the room number that we need. But what I realize is we don't have a class level adventure. If you remember way back many moons ago, we started the adventure. They passed in the adventure to start the adventure. Then we got the initial adventure and we set it. We need to have this on a class level because we need to be able to get to all the rooms, not just the single room. So I'm going to take and make a private adventure and call it game adventure. And then we'll set that in here. And that will be the new thing. And now we have a class level game adventure that we can use down here. So come back down here, and now we can say we want to do the room processor. We want to do room description. So we're going to do the room processor, which is the description and the options, and we know which room we want. We've just got to find it. So let's actually go find it. So var new room equals, and we'll use link, right? We'll do game adventure. What the? Dot rooms. Now we have the collection. We'll say first or default. And we're now looking for the rooms, and we're going to say room number. Yeah, there we go. We're looking for the room number that equals the exit number leads to number. Does that make sense? So we can say exit leads to room number. Boom. That's our brand new room. And then we can just do our room processor and we should be done. New room. So instead of doing new room, I didn't have to declare. I wanted to show you how to declare this, but now that I've declared it, I can just stick this thing. Actually, you know what? Maybe we throw more exceptions. So maybe we still do this to make sure it's not null. We're doing first or default, so it could be a null. Let's just do that. If new room equals null for some stupid reason, I guess the author of the adventure could have manually put a number in there that was wrong. So let's just throw it. And then we can be mad at the person that made the adventure. Throw new. Why can't I type? Dragons, or maybe a bad author, right? Something like that, something silly. So now we made sure it's a new room, and now we can just pass our new room in here, and I think we should be able to move between rooms now, guys. This should be awesome. Let's run this. Now we still got lots of things to do in the original room, tons of stuff, as we just said earlier, and we've got to deal with death, creating characters, saving characters, all that stuff. But this should be an initial trap check and move through a room. Let's see. Okay, I missed that one. Again. And we're going to go north. We process our traps because we didn't even look for traps. Who cares right now? Process that. And now we're doing exits, right? So our wall location came in as north. Nice. Our exits have a north, right? There she blows. So we grabbed it. We grabbed an exit. We have an exit, and it leads to room number 2. Yeah, it's not locked. There's no riddle. Exit does not equal null, so no exception. Now we're going to try to grab that room, room number 2. And does our rooms have a room number 2? There's 3 of them. That's room number 1, and there's room number 2. So boom, grabbed ourselves a new room. There it is, scary room. That's our description. Send that to the room processor, and booyah! Number 2, scary room. There is an exit in this room on the south wall. There is a chest in the room. So, guys, we have our chest right here. We have our new option of a chest. We have our new description. We know there's a chest. We have our new exits. And so I just came north. I should be able to go back south, right? Because north-south, and the author was smart. So let's go south and see if we hit anything. Let's get past. Boom. Are we back in exit? We found an exit. Are we back in room? We found a room. All right. So I don't think that I think we're getting past. We made one mistake where we're probably reporting traps, but we're moving on to a whole clean slate with the new room. So we're moving between rooms. That's wonderful. I'm going to take away all the breakpoints so we can see how that works. Let's get rid of that. But we are screwing up. We did screw up on the traps thing, but let's do it. Let's go north. Boom, scary room. Let's go south. Boom, let's go east. This should work. Long hallway. We can go back west. What would you like to do? Perfect. Guys, we're moving through rooms. We doing traps. We're doing damage. We're moving along with gas. We're going to cut it off right here. You've been amazing. You're awesome. I thank you for sticking with me. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to give me comments. Tell me give me your questions. How's it going? I love feedback. I appreciate it. Take it easy.